What is a selection sort? We'll see the example. Selection sort definition is it's just an algorithm that is used for sorting. This sorting algorithm iterates through the array and finds the smallest number in the array and swaps it with the first element if it is smaller than the first element. Let's see the example. Here I'm taking a small array with the elements. So let's consider I have an array with the name A. So I have first element 10, and the second element 5, and the third element 1, and the last element is 2. So here the address of the element is A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3. Because array indices are always starts from the 0. So here is a given array. So now I am going to apply the selection sort algorithm on this array. So basically, selection sort. First, we need to consider the first element in the array. We need to assume that is the smallest element. Of course, 10 is not the smallest number, but still we have to consider that is the smallest number. So we are assuming that that is the smallest number. So then the second step is we need to find out the actual smallest number from the remaining elements. Here, remaining elements are 5, 1, 2. So, what is the smallest number? 1. So, we assumed that 10 is the smallest number. Here we are running a condition 10 greater than 1. If the condition is true, we need to swap these two variables. So, here I am swapping these two variables. After swapping, my array is my array will be like this. So 1, 5 no change. Here I got 10, 2 no change. Here 1 and 10 swapped. So I'm done with the first element. Now I have to assume that 5 is the smallest number. So I'm assuming 5 is the smallest number. I have a remaining elements only 2. The actual smallest number is 2. 5 greater than 2. Condition true. If the condition is true, I have to swap these two elements. So after this, I got an array that will be like 1, no change, 1. So here I'll get 2, 10, no change. So 5. Again, I need to apply the selection sort algorithm on this particular array. So I have to assume 10 is the smallest number and the remaining element 5. 10 greater than 5 till the condition is true. If the condition is true, I have to swap these two numbers. Alright. So the final array will be like 1, 2, 5, 10. So sorted. Sorted elements are, so here is the given array 10, 5, 1, 2, and here is the sorted array A. So now let's start the programming part. So I'm going to write the C program for the selection sort. So here I'm using a compiler called online GDB. So let's see the program. First, I'm taking an array. Array name is A. So here I'm passing 10 elements. Here I want my array size should be 10. And I want number of elements in array because I have to read the elements from the user. So that's the reason I'm taking n. And I'm going to take one more variable called position. So, so I'll explain the code also. You don't worry about it. And I'm taking one more variable called swap. So first to printf, I'm going to ask user to enter number of elements. So I'm asking user to enter how many array elements he want. So enter number of elements in an array. So after reading this message, I'm going to assign the value to n, variable n. For that reason, I'm using a scanf function. So here n is an integer variable. So for that reason, I'm using a format specifier percentile d to read the value from the user and I'm assigning that to n. So I'm done. Now array elements are fixed. Now I have to ask user to enter actual elements. So enter array elements. The user may enter multiple elements. So for that reason, I'm using a for loop. So what is the syntax of a for loop? For initialization, condition, and increment. So here, initialization, I'm using I value 0, and here I less than array length, that is nothing but n I plus plus. So now I'm going to read the values from the to the array. So using scanf, I can do that. Here I'm using a format specifier percentile d and assigning each element to a of I. So let me explain this. So here I'm allocating memory for the variables. So first int a of I. So I have to create an array with 10 elements, right? So yeah, consider this is an array A. So and next I'm going to allocate some memory for variable n and position integer memory, right? Consider this a memory for the position and here is a swap memory. Okay. So now the second line, enter number of elements. I want totally 4 elements in my array. So after entering this 4, it will gonna assign to my array. Sorry, it will gonna assign to value n. So now the n value will become 4. So now the total number of array elements. Now let me zero it 1, 2, 3. So I have a multiple values, but now I want only 4 elements. Now printf enter array elements. After reading this message, user wants to enter elements. So let's consider first element I'm going to enter, that is a 10. So who will read it? So here I have a for loop for I is equal to 0. Let's consider this is the I value. So I is 0. So now 0 less than, what is n value? 4. 0 less than 4. Condition true. If the condition true, I have to execute the following statement. What is the statement? Scanf, read the value and assign to a of I. So what is I value? 0. So here is the a of 0, right? And here is a of 1 and a of 2 and here is the address of the value a of 3. So whatever the value that I entered first, I am going to assign that to a of 0. So now I'm assigning 10 value to a of 0. Again, condition executed. Again, the same message array, enter array elements. By reading that, I'm going to enter one more element, that is a 5. So again, it will check. Sorry, here I value will become I plus plus 0 plus 1, 1. Now 1 less than 4, still condition true. If the condition is true, I have to assign the 5 value to a of I. What is the current I value? That is 1, a of 1. So I need to assign this value to a of 1 element in the array, that is 5. Again I value will become 1 plus 1, that is 2. 2 less than 4, condition true. If the condition is true, I have to assign a of I. What is the current I value? That is 2, A of 2. So whatever the third element, consider this is 1. So I need to assign that value to A of 2, 1. Again, I value will become 2 plus 1, 3. 3 less than 4. So still condition is true. If the condition is true, I need to assign the element to, let's take 2. So I need to assign the element to A of I. What is the current I value? That is 3. So A of 3. So I need to assign this 2 value to A of 3. So this is A of 3. So 2. Again, I plus plus. I value will become 4. 4 greater than 4. Condition false. So now out of the loop. So now using these lines, I have created an array and I have read the number of elements of array. So I want a 4. So I have assigned that 4 to n. Now I'm going to read the elements from the user and assign to my array. Right? So reading elements from the user is done, and my array is 10, 5, 1 and 2. Let's check the remaining program. So just a minute, let me note down the address of the variables. That is, this is A of 0, A of 1, A of 2 and A of 3. So let's write the remaining lines of the code. Now the actual selection sort is going to start because I'm ready with the array elements. Now I'm going to take one more for loop. So here I'm using the same I is equal to 0. So what is the selection sort? First we need to consider this is the smallest element, right? We are assuming that the first element is the smallest element. So total length of the array is n. I don't want to read this value because I'm assuming that the first element is the smallest element. So now I have to check which element is the smallest in the remaining elements. So I want to read only the remaining elements, that is nothing but n minus 1. I'm just removing the first element. So actual size is 4. Now I want to read only these three elements. If I want to get the length of the array will 3, so I need to do 4 minus 1, then I'll get 3. So that's the reason I'm passing n minus 1 condition in my for loop. So here I'm taking for I is equal to 0, and I, here I'm passing the condition I n minus 1 because I don't want to read the first value because I'm assuming that the first value is the smallest number. So n minus 1, then I plus plus. If the condition is true, I want to execute the following statements. So I want to assign my I value to my position. So position is equal to I. Now, if the condition is true, I want to assign I value to the position variable. So after this, I'm writing one more for loop for I'm initializing j value here. So j is equal to, here I don't want a 0 or 1 because I have to read the next element, that is nothing but I plus 1. Every time I need to read the next element. So I plus 1 and j less than n because I want to execute all the elements. Now j plus plus. If this condition is true, if j less than n, I want to check if, because we need to check whether the assumed number is greater than to the actual smallest number or not, then only we can do the swapping. So if a of position value